Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate to you Mike Jacobs tomato basil vinaigrette. You don't have to use this recipe if you don't want to. You can use your own Italian dressing, that's your favorite Italian dressing that you already have, and that's perfectly fine. You could even use something different if it's your favorite. Like at my house, my husband likes this poppy seed dressing. It's kind of sweet, so I don't think it really fits the vegetable recipe. Or we have a pawpaw maple vinaigrette. I don't know, I kind of don't think that this really fits it either. I just love this recipe. This is from a chef who came in and demonstrated in our class many years ago, and I've always kept it since. So let me talk about the ingredients. Like most vinaigrettes, you're gonna have vinegar and olive oil. And it's usually about 1 part vinegar to about 3 parts olive oil. And the way that I'm going to do that, the way that I'm going to measure this is I have a measuring cup here. And as you can see, it measures 1/2 cup, 3/4 cup, 1 cup. And if I put in 3/4 cup of olive oil and 1/4 cup of red wine vinegar, it should come up to 1 cup. So the first thing I'll do, it's hard to see this, is I will measure let me put something white inside of there. Does that help? I will measure up to 3/4 cup of my olive oil, and then I will measure 1/4 cup of my vinegar. I'm not going to use all of the salad dressing in this salad. I'm gonna have extra left over for when I pluck that lettuce out of that tower garden. So, because I'm not going to be able to show you this again once I get liquids in it, I'm going to explain it again. 3/4 cup of olive oil is going to go up to there, and then I'm going to put in vinegar until I get to 1 cup. All right? So, you could use avocado oil in this, I suppose. It would be kind of a little bit more pricey salad dressing though, because avocado oil is a more expensive oil. Now, I am going to do something real quick here, and just hang on for a second, watch me. So here's a 1 tablespoon. I'm just going to, get it coated with olive oil, and you'll see why in a minute. Okay, now I'm just going to pour this red wine vinegar until I hit 1 cup. There we go. The next thing that goes in this is about 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. Now, tomato paste comes in these little tiny cans. Look, I can fit it in my hand like that because you don't use very much of it. It's really, really concentrated. I don't tend to use these little cans so much. I use them more in class. At home, I tend to use tomato paste that comes in something that looks like a toothpaste tube, simply because it seems to last a long time in the refrigerator, and it's real convenient to do, this. However, I'm gonna tell you, it's a lot cheaper to buy it in those little cans. So, I need 3 tablespoons. And this is kind of a sticky ingredient, but look at what happens here. It plops right out. Okay, and then there's 3. My next ingredient that I'm going to put in here is honey. I'm going to, the recipe says 1/2 tablespoon of honey. So I'm going to once again get a little bit of olive oil in here, coat this with olive oil. And I have honey that's from our area, from Ohio, from Howard Beeman. A student gave me this, and I've got to tell you, it's just about the best dang honey. I don't know, it's the best honey I've had in an awful long time. So I'm going to very carefully pour it in here And that's a little bit more than half a tablespoon. But look what happens. I'm going to put it in there, and look, that comes out like clean, right? When you have sticky ingredients, if you're making something and you have oil in it and you also have sticky ingredients, measure the oil first if you can. Okay, I need to wipe my hands now after that sticky ingredient. And then the next thing says half of a tablespoon of freshly grated Italian seasonings. Well, guess what? I do not have Italian seasonings. I tend to have the individual seasonings and I combine them myself. So here's about my half a tablespoon. I've got some basil here, and these are pizza seasonings. What's in here is fennel seed, oregano, sugar, garlic, black pepper, basil, onion, crushed red pepper, cayenne red pepper. So I'm just going to kind of crush those all together, and basically I'm done with my recipe. Once again, red wine vinegar, olive oil, tomato paste, honey, Italian seasonings. Now, I would only put these in if I was relatively sure I was going to finish this salad dressing in a week or so. But I'm not sure of that, so I'm not going to put my fresh basil in. Instead, I'll probably tear my fresh basil and put it on top. Now, how am I going to shake this up? Well, I'm not in there at least. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pour it into this plastic jar, and there's my tomato paste. It's going to go plop plop in there. And because I don't want to lose any of it, I'm going to get a rubber scraper and scrape it into there. This is actually my old mayonnaise jar. And then I'm going to put that top on it really tight, and I'm just going to shake it. Okay. And I like to taste it and see how it is. There's a green bean right there. And I love this dressing. If you think that you'd like it, and your parents think that they'd like it, make the dressing.